So, brother, since I'm 100% sure, man, I'm gonna be calling Bangkok my base. I felt like it was only fitting for me to submerge myself deeper into the culture, man. So today I'm spending time at the Bangkok Arts and Culture Center, man. So y'all come along for the ride. You know, it's a different kind of love that people have for Thailand. You know, and I hear people, people that go to different places all over the globe. And not saying there aren't beautiful places, not saying there aren't serene places and places where you can really enjoy life and places where it's a lot more affordable and all those things. But what I've noticed is that, people that visit Thailand, even people that visit Thailand and then move somewhere else, they always speak very highly of Thailand as if it's a place like no other. And I'm gonna tell you this, after being here for a couple of weeks, I know what it is that I love about Thailand. And of course, there's a long list, but I understand that thing or a few of those things that people are feeling that make them hold the kingdom so high, man. And I'll say the first thing is, one video, I believe a few videos ago, I mentioned like it's a loving energy here, right? But it's deeper than that, man. After like observing people when I'm out, what the people of Thailand have figured out how to do, whether they are conscious of it or not, is create a very high level of good karma. They've created a very high level of good karma. And what I mean is, I can remember when I first got here, within the first couple of days, I was going to Benji Kitty Park a lot. And the first thing I noticed was, like, a lot of people were out there, of course people out there are walking and running and exercising and meditating. But it was a lot of people kind of just stopping in their tracks to cut up fruit, to cut up different things to kind of feed the birds and feed the fish and do all this stuff. And I say, that's just normal. But I started seeing that same energy everywhere else. And when I say that same energy, meaning just that same giving energy. It's like the people of Thailand understand that if I put good energy out, then good energy will have to come back to me. And if you have that mindset on a collective consciousness or on a collective, it's going to make this place feel a lot different. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people are feeling when they come. People are just kind. It's kind of like in America, at least. And this is a new thing. I would say within the last 5 to 7, maybe 10 years, customer service is not even a thing anymore. I don't care if you're calling it on your cell phone bill. I don't care if you're at a bank. Wherever you are, customer service is non-existent in the West. Everywhere you go, man, people are going to be acting like you're wasting their time or like you're bothering them when you work there. Well, here, man, it's completely different. When I go grocery shopping, man, I've been grocery shopping maybe 3 times, right? And what I noticed the first time, when they're checking me out, the lady would take my fruit and she would go to the back. And I'm like, man, is she going back? I thought she was exchanging my fruit. I said, maybe she's looking at my fruit saying that, hey, you know what? It's no good, and let me get him some better fruit. So, and then she came back and then she kind of just, ran it through the checker. And I went a few days ago and she did it again, right? And I said, man, this is just something they do. But it happened again yesterday, man. So I kind of stepped back and looked to the back of the store to see what she was doing. And she was going to a department in the store, weighing, like a lady was working there. She was giving it to the lady. The lady was weighing my fruit and putting a tab on it. Kind of like we do like the meat market in the States, right? And she was putting a sticker on it, bringing it back. And when she came back, I typed it in my Google Translator. I said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. And she could speak a little bit of English, and she was just like, Like, no, like, don't worry about it. Like, it was almost like she was saying this. It was like she was just saying with a few words, but mainly with her energy and body language is like, hey, you know what? I can tell you're not from here. I can tell that maybe in the States it may be a little different. So hey, just chill out. I'm gonna take care of you and don't worry about it. And I said, hey, now I know. And it's crazy, like even the people in the line behind me, they were just patient. Nobody was tripping. So it's like everybody here just understands that, hey, you know what? Like, let me just look at the good in every situation. Let me just be giving. Let me just be considerate. Let me just have compassion. Let me just be understanding. It's an energy. It's an energy that people put out, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a beautiful thing. Not only is it a beautiful thing, it's created an aura in this country. It's created an aura of love in this country, man. Somebody commented on a video a few days ago saying something about the people in Thailand were nice. And I said, yeah, man, these people are my tribe. Like these people vibrate like I vibrate. Because I'm gonna tell you, you can't really vibrate in this kind of love around everybody. Because when you vibrate in this high compassion, this high, whatever type of love for mankind will try to pull one over on you. So that's why I say this is my tribe over here. It has nothing to do with skin color, race, or creed, or national. It's just like the energy here, man. These people are a part of my tribe. I was matter of fact, the other day when I was making that video at the market, there were some ladies. I was sitting there recording, and I was getting ready to turn my camera toward them because they were doing some neat stuff. Like here in Thailand, man, they have these centipedes. I'm calling them centipedes, but they're like 6 inches long, maybe even longer, 6-7 inches long, and they're centipedes, and they're about the size of a pinky, right? And I see them every once in a while, mainly like when I'm like in nature, like at the park, right? But anyway, I saw these ladies. They had like a bucket of these centipedes, and they were sitting on the port, like the dock, right? And she was pouring them into the river, into the stream, into the river, whatever, right? And she was giving some centipedes to the fish, and then she would stop and just start praying, like almost like she was just kind of like completing cycles of life or something, man. And it's crazy because the fish, I'm sitting there looking, and the fish will come up to her, and it's all. I ain't lying. It's almost like the fish were dancing or something, man. Because I don't know if y'all been in the country and fed some fish. Like my mama got a pond. My mom has a pond, man. And I remember when she first stocked it, she used to feed the fish. And when you throw that food out there, man, it sound like just chaos. These fish were almost just like dancing around. Water wasn't splashing, and they just understood what was taking place. And I was getting ready to record her, and I stopped. I said, "Nah, man, this is a special thing she's doing. This is some kind of spiritual thing she's doing, man." So just going back to what I'm saying, man, a lot of what people love about Thailand, a lot of what you're going to love when you get here, is just this love that they have. Like it's just unmatched. It's unmatched, I'll say another thing that I love about it, about the country, is, of course, I'll say this. Of course, there are factions, but there's not as much classism, if that's a word, as I've seen in other places. Of course, the West, of course, the States, even the classism that I see like in South Africa. Of course, there are factions here, but there isn't as much classism. And what I mean by that is, of course, you have some people that are well off. Of course, you have some people that are not as fortunate. You know what I mean? Like you have, like even where I'm at now, man. You're around the Gucci and Louis and all those big stores. So you have those people that move like that. So there are factions. You can look around and tell that people belong, have placed themselves in certain, categories of society. But when I say there's no classism, it's like nobody sees themselves better or worse than the next person. And I'm gonna tell you this, like that's something that you really can't see unless you've seen it. Like that's not something everybody's going around saying. It's just an energy. It's just the way everybody conducts themselves with each other. For example, I'm right here. I'm here at the center, right? Arts and Culture Center, and of course you see people in here, like I say, that are dressed a certain way. You know that they're well off, and you see people, man, that may just kind of come off the street and just kind of want to get some cool air and see what's going on in here, right? Like the energy, like the way people blend is such a beautiful thing. And again, like I said, it's not with words, because that's just for an example. Like some places you can go in the United States where just the energy, where the looks people give other people, just because maybe they don't have as much, just the looks or the energy or the looking at them like they don't belong. Like that isn't here. Like if you're sitting there looking at an exhibit, everybody's sitting there talking to each other, kind of just regardless of what their attire is. You know what I'm saying? So there's no classism, and I love that, man, because I love that a lot, because that's one thing that I don't like about the West. Like a lot of people are judged by their appearance. A lot of people are judged by the side of town they live in, the square footage of the home, the horsepower of the car, the cost of the purse. And one thing I noticed here, man, is like, not saying that's not a thing, because of course it's gonna be a thing everywhere, but it's just really not a thing here. And I believe that's one of the things I love most about this place, because that kind of energy is so dear to me, so important to me. So yes, there are factions, but there's just no classism, right? And the last thing I love about it is, and this is just one I was thinking about this morning, and it's subtle, but it's huge at the same time, right? And that thing is, it feels like the government is on your side here. It feels like the government is looking out for your best interest here. And I'll tell you the example on why I think that, right? Because when you go to the grocery store, this is what I'm noticing. When you go to the store, man, if something says it costs 90 baht, then when you get to the cash register, you're paying 90 baht. If something costs 500 baht, when you go to the store and you buy some shoes or you buy some clothes, if it says it costs 1,000 baht, then when you go to the cash register, you're paying 1,000 baht. And after a few transactions, man, I started feeling like, man, you know what? I don't feel like a system is trying to get over on me. Again, going back to the West, you have to understand, and y'all know, I'm preaching to the choir, you have to understand that every time you turn your head, every time you go in your wallet, your money is being taxed. They're taxing the same dollar every time you look at it. When you get paid, they're taxing it. When you go pump gas, they're taxing it. When the gas man gets his money, they're taxing it. When the gas man, when you go buy groceries, they're taxing it. When the grocery man goes and re-ups on it, they're taxing it. So it's just taxes everywhere. And I don't know the tax system here. I don't know it. But I do know it feels good to go to the grocery store. It does feel good to go to the mall and buy something. And I'm just giving that person exactly what they asked for it, and nothing else. Like Big Brother is not several states over, just taking chunks off of every time I move money. And just that alone just makes me feel like they could easily do that, because a lot of people are doing that. They could easily be taxing everything, but they don't. And it just makes me feel like the government or the powers that be is just looking out for the best interests of the people here, man. And again, that just ties back into the love that I think people have here. It's just a different energy, man. Kind of like when we talk about the United States, it seems like the system is against us. You get online and people are making six figures and they're complaining about how hard it is to go and buy groceries. they're making six figures, man, and they talk about they can't afford rent anymore. They can't afford groceries anymore. And it's like every 3 to 6 months, everything is being marked up. Rent is constantly going up. It's just like an energy in the West that the system is trying to squeeze every bit of life out of you, and it's running everybody crazy. It's driving everybody crazy, man. So going back to what I was saying, I believe that's what a lot of people are feeling when they come to Thailand. They're feeling a different energy, man. They're feeling an energy of love. They're feeling an energy of like society wants me to live. Society wants me to buy groceries. Society doesn't have to tax me every time I'm turning my head, right? So yeah, those are some of the things that I love about the country, and I know you're gonna love them when you get here, brothers.